Everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're a newbie, hello, welcome. My name is Raquel, and if you're a subby, thank you for returning. I really appreciate your support. Now, I know you're probably sick to the back teeth of seeing Coachella pictures, hearing about Coachella, etc, etc, etc. However, if you are planning to go for the first time and you want to know every single thing there is to know about it, including travel costs, transportation, transfers, camping, hotels, money, tickets, when they go on sale, everything, then this is definitely the video for you to watch. If you find it helpful, comment below, let me know how you found it, give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you aren't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. No long talking, let's get straight into this video. Oh, so quick disclaimer, I'm not an expert. I've only been once. I'd love to have been many times, but only been once. And this is just my experience and how I paid for it and how I managed to, you know, budget and all that kind of thing. So yeah, quick disclaimer. Okay, so first things first, if you see me looking down, apologies. I am going to be referring to my notes because I want to be as, you know, like spot on with the details and the money more than anything. And then there were a few questions I got about it, which I will probably answer as we go on. If I don't, they'll be at the end. Probably going to answer as we go on. So first things first, I managed to book my annual leave first. I actually wrote this down. I actually put my request in on the 24th of April 2018, so literally almost a year prior to the festival. Coachella, if you don't know, happens for 2 consecutive weekends in April, literally the exact same acts. They perform weekend 1 and weekend 2. Some people prefer weekend 1 because I think they find that it's not as hot, and also they don't want to miss out on the surprise acts, and they want the surprise acts to be a surprise. For me, when I looked at the calendar, I saw that there was Easter, Good Friday and Easter Monday, so it meant that I didn't have to use that much annual leave, and so I ended up going for weekend 2 because it meant that I only used 6 days annual leave, but I was actually out of the office from like the 13th to the 24th, so like a good 10 days. So that was the first thing that I did. I booked my annual leave. Obviously that's not applicable to everybody. So after that, I went ahead and I booked my Coachella Festival ticket. So the Coachella Festival tickets go on sale twice. So the first sale is the pre-sale, and that last year was June the 1st. And then if you want to get it in the main sale, you can get it in January, the year of the festival. So I went ahead and I got mine in the pre-sale. It was a really simple, straightforward process. I went on the website. I already made myself a profile on the sister site, which is Festival Ticketing, so that when it came to the day, I could literally just log in, be logged in and be ready to go. I think booking wise, because I had a friend that was going weekend 1, and I think the site was crashing a little bit for weekend 1, but for weekend 2 it was absolutely fine. Now, the best thing about buying in the advance sale is that you can pay it layaway. What I mean by this is that you can pay bit by bit each month until, so they take it in 7 payments. So the first payment would be June the 1st, which was the day that the advance sale started, and then the last payment for your Coachella ticket will be December the 1st, which means that prior, like the year before, you're already done. You've paid for your festival ticket. So in terms of the cost of the actual Coachella festival ticket, where am I? So my Coachella Festival ticket last year cost me $504. Now, of course, by the time you convert this into pounds and then you pay the charge that the bank charges you for buying in a foreign currency, it's a little bit different. However, I paid $504 all in, and this included my shuttle pass, which we will talk about in a little bit more detail a little bit later on. If I didn't buy the shuttle pass, it would have cost me $429, and this is general admission. VIP is going to run you $1,000. I ain't got that coin, sis, so I just kept it real cute and kept it real general and basic, and that was fine for me. So that is that. Once you book your tickets, you want to decide how long you want to be in LA for. Now, I'm obviously from England, I'm from London, I've never been to LA, so I kind of wanted to make it a little bit of a, not a holiday, but I wanted to spend a little bit more time in LA just to see what LA had to offer. It's a very, very long flight from the UK, and I thought I might as well make the most out of it. So I decided to stay in LA for well, I landed in LA the Saturday before the festival, so I had almost a week before the festival to acclimatise, and that's another thing. If you're coming from like this part of the world, that jet lag is gonna get you. So you kind of wanna be able to adjust to that time difference and that jet lag, so that when you do go to the festival, like, you're not falling asleep. Because honestly, if you get there like the day before, I mean, maybe even like 2 days before, it's hard to adjust, and you're just so tired. I decided to get to LA on the Saturday, and I then left LA on the Thursday because I wanted to be in Palm Springs the morning of the festival. So that's what I did in terms of how long I stayed in LA prior to going up to Palm Springs. Next up, you want to go ahead and book your flight. So this is the major key for me now. I basically, if you watch my channel, you'll hear me speak about this often, and it really, really makes a big help. I collect air miles. So when I fly long haul, nearly always, I will always fly with Virgin or Delta. And the reason why is because I love Virgin, to be fair. I think they're a really great airline. I never have any problems, any qualms. I really like the service with Virgin. More importantly, their rewarding system for their flight club is so good. So I shop a lot online, and I can collect air miles whilst I shop online. So things like, for instance, the camera lens that I'm using, I collected a number of air miles because I had bought it through the Shops Away website. And what I do is I collect them, and every so often when I'm going away, I kind of check how much it costs for me to buy the fare outright versus how much it would cost for me to use my air miles. Sometimes if it's like £100 difference, 150, 200, 250, I'll just swallow it and I'll pay the money and I'll keep my air miles. Now in this case, I knew that I was going to use them air miles, honey, because this prices were just racking up. So using my air miles, I used 25k on the way out and 15k on the way back. The reason for the discrepancy is because flying out it was peak and flying back it was off peak, so that was fine. And I paid £300 for my fare to LA. Now this is just taxes only, and I used 25 on the way out and 15k air miles on the way in. I'll repeat that again, just clearly I've just repeated that again so that you guys get it. So that is what saved me a lot of money, because my friend had booked the same flight at the same time, and even with it being way in advance, she had to pay £780 for her flight. So I had saved myself literally £500. Now, a little tip, if you want to book your flights in advance, Virgin, you can probably book your flight 331 days in advance. Now, you don't necessarily get the best price, but what this does is it allows you the time to pay it off bit by bit, and you'll quickly come to find out that when you're booking something as big as Coachella, what you want to do is you kind of want to separate the different things, and the things that you can pay bit by bit, month by month, you want to do that with, and then the stuff that you have to pay all in one go, you have to swallow it. You just have to pay it all in one go. So that was the flight. Now I know when I was booking, BA and Virgin will always kind of price war, and of course you can probably stop off to make it a little bit cheaper. For me, it was just such a long flight. I kind of just wanted to get there, and I had my air miles, so I don't really care. But yeah, there are probably ways that you can get it a little bit cheaper. By and large, at that time, I was looking at around £700 to £800 to book that fare. But you do want to do your research. You want to look around. So obviously, depending on how the dates fall next year, some of the dates might be peak. Like one weekend, the whole thing might be peak time, and then the next weekend, it might be off peak. So you want to look at that and figure out what kind of, how it's going to work out and pan out for you. So I'm going to do a quick recap in terms of pricing, because obviously there's a lot to keep up with and I'm giving you a lot of information. So to start off with, I've got my Coachella Festival ticket, that's $504. On top of that, I had the $25 shipping fee, which was split over those 7 payments. So the first payment was taken June 1st, the last payment was taken December 1st. So I guess roughly, give or take, it's about $72 a month that I was paying. So that's what we have in terms of the pricing of the actual Coachella Festival ticket. On top of that, with regards to the flights now, as I mentioned, my flight was £300. Personally, I banged mine on my credit card and I paid it off in 2 different months because I could split it and it was easier for me to manage that way. So I was paying around $72, $75 for my Coachella ticket, including the shipping. And then I was paying $150 split across 2 months for my flight. At this point, I had introduced my travel agent. So I always use Dial-A-Fly. even though they're very, very good, I always independently do my own search. I look for flights myself and I say, look, I've seen this, can you match, can you do better, etc, etc. So at this point, we had introduced the travel agent because we were now going to look at accommodation. So we were going to look at accommodation in LA, and we were also going to look for accommodation in Palm Springs. So moving on now, and I'm going to look at my notes because this is so much to remember. So in terms of LA accommodation, we picked Dream Hollywood. For me, it was like one of the only places that I really wanted to try. There were a couple of other hotels, and you can definitely get a cheaper LA hotel. However, my idea behind paying a little bit more for a nicer hotel was that if I didn't want to go out, I could enjoy the amenities of the hotel. And Dream Hollywood is a really lovely, beautiful hotel. It has a lovely rooftop bar on the top. There's Tower right next door to it. The staff, literally all of the staff at Dream are so nice. Like literally it's like a home away from home, even though it's such a big hotel. So I decided to pick Dream Hollywood. So my travel agent gave me a little short list, and I was like, you know what, I've been thinking about Dream anyway, let's do Dream. The LA accommodation ended up being £829.50. It's a very, very peak time to be in LA, and what you'll find is a lot of these places are charging a little bit extra because they know it's the festival and they know that they're going to get booked out. There's not really much you can do about it. I guess by booking as far in advance as you can, you just give yourself a little bit more time to pay for it, but that's probably like the only best advice I can, like, you just have to grin and bear it, to be honest. So what we actually did is we actually booked on another day. So we stayed in LA for Saturday night, Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night. We left on the Thursday to go to Palm Springs. We had 4 nights there, so Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. And then we came back to LA for one more night because we didn't want to go straight back on the plane from, you know, traveling from Palm Springs down to LA on the coach and then jump on the plane that night for a 10-11 hour flight. It just would have been hell. So I decided to book another night back at the Dream, which meant that we could also leave the majority of our stuff at LA or in the hotel at Dream, and then we just took like a little carry-on up to Palm Springs. It just made it a little bit easier. So yeah, that £829.50 was for 6 nights. So Saturday night, Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night. A lot of money, but again, what can you do? You just kind of have to grin and bear it. But like I said, there are definitely cheaper alternatives. I know a lot of people love to use Airbnb. I personally don't really do Airbnb, or I've never tried it, just because I do quite like the amenities of a hotel, to be fair. So I've never really done it. But like I said, the staff was so lovely, so it was really, really good. And also, Dream Hollywood, they have a house car, so anywhere within a 3-mile radius, they'll drop you off. They won't pick you up, but they'll drop you off. And I found that was a really big help, because LA, you basically have to take an Uber or a Lyft everywhere. So yeah, kind of balances itself out. They have, you know, good amenities, which, you know, I definitely made use of. So quick recap again, at this point I'm paying for my festival ticket and shuttle pass in one payment. I'm paying for my flight, which is £150 twice over 2 different months, and I've paid my £50 deposit via my travel agent, and I'm paying my LA accommodation bit by bit by bit. I've divided it by the number of months. I've got to pay the balance 6 weeks before, and I'm paying that off slowly but surely. That's going to take me right up. I think it was for me £86.61 for a number of months, right up until that 6 weeks prior mark. So that's where we're at in terms of payments so far. So once you've figured out how long you want to stay in LA, what weekend you're going, you've bought your ticket, you want to find your accommodation for when you're in Palm Springs. Now there are 2 options. You can either camp or you can get a hotel. Your girl was not camping. I am not a camper. So I knew straight away, right off the bat, I was going to have to get accommodation. So Palm Springs, massive area, very, very vast. What you need to do is you need to have a look at the shuttle pass. Now they will publish their shuttle pass route prior, or sort of around when the tickets, like the pre-sale, and definitely by the time the main sale comes around, all of the hotels that are on the shuttle pass will have been published, and you will know which hotels. So myself personally, I got hold of this list. There are about 8 different hotels. I immediately took off the ones that did not have a pool, because I wanted one with a pool, and it's so nice in the mornings before you get ready for the before you get ready for the festival, to chill in the hotel around the pool. Most other people are doing it. Someone's got some music, you've got a little bit of food, nice chill time. So I definitely wanted one with a pool. So I googled them all, crossed off the ones that didn't have a pool. So I've got my little short list of ones with a pool. At this point, I then went on Google Maps and I saw specifically how far each hotel was from the festival. Now remember I was saying obviously it's a very vast area to cover. Some hotels, even if they're on the shuttle list, they were like an hour away, and I was like, hun, no. I can't be doing this, getting on the bus for an hour after the festival when I'm tired and I just want to get back, rip my lashes off, rip all my makeup off and go to sleep. So then I looked for ones that were relatively close, so you know, within the 20 minutes to half an hour mark. For me, half an hour max was what I was prepared to travel, so I crossed it out again. So I've got my short list now of maybe I would say like 3 or 4 different hotels. What I did is I gave this to my travel agent. I said, get me the best prices that you can for this date, because at this point you know that you're staying Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night and Sunday night. So 4 nights, get me your rate for 4 nights. So my travel agent went away, he got me his rates. Whilst he went away, I also went away and I got my rates and I had a little look. Now, he gave me a list, and it would have been great to have gone through him, because then it would have been a package and then I would have been able to pay it bit by bit by bit. But unfortunately, the rate that he gave me for the hotel that I decided on, which was Courtyard Palm Springs, was it Courtyard Palm Springs? I'll pop it on the screen and I'll link it below as well. But the rate that he got me was so much higher than what I'd found independently on booking.com, that he said to me, and he's honest with me, he said, listen, I can't even get near it. You need to book it independently. So I did. So I booked it via booking.com. Now there are different things I'm told with booking.com. I can only go on my experience. Sometimes you book it and they don't take it until you get there. Sometimes you book it and they take it at a random time. Sometimes you book it and they take it right away. I booked it and they didn't take it right away, and I was living my life. I was like, hey, because the accommodation, let me tell you what it cost me for 4 nights in a way less nicer hotel than Dream Hollywood. It was 1,300. No, sorry, this is for the 2 of us. Let me get my calculator. So by the time it came out of my account, for 2 of us, it was basically £1,400. So £700 each for this accommodation. So literally £129 cheaper than what I was paying for the 6 nights in a way better hotel. But anyway, again, as I said, people know that people are coming for the festival. They completely double, triple, probably quadruple their prices, to be honest, because it's a peak time. Nothing you can do about it. You just have to grin and bear it, suck it up and just get over it. I am not gonna lie, a whole amount of time has elapsed since I last saw you guys on the camera, because my battery died and I had to go out to lunch anyway. But anyway, I've literally been to Rum Kitchen and come back. I've been out for like hours. But anyway, I think we were talking about the Palm Springs accommodation. So that cost me £1,388.61. I then was charged a little bit on top for buying in another currency. Booking.com have various different ways of charging. So to be doubly sure, I called up the hotel and I said, look, I've made a booking with Booking.com. They were like, yep, we've got you, confirm my name and you know, my dates and everything. And they were like, we don't take the money from your card until when you get here. So at the time I was thinking perfect, because it was at this point, I think still sort of like June, July of the year like prior. They were like, yeah, we definitely don't take it until when you get here. And then a month or so later, I saw that money came off of my card and I was like, oh my gosh. So yeah, I had to pay for it pretty much, yeah, quite early on, and I had put it on my credit card, so I paid off quite quickly because I didn't want to be paying interest on it. So again, to quickly recap, I'm paying around $75 a month for my ticket for the festival and my shuttle pass, including the postage. I've paid over 2 months $150 each time for my flight. I'm paying around £86 a month for my LA accommodation, which in total was £829.50. And now I'm paying £700 for my accommodation in Palm Springs. So at this point, it's pretty much all done. So you kind of are just like paying it off each month. The great thing about, as I keep mentioning, the great thing about paying the tickets or buying the tickets in the advance sale means that by the end of the year, you are done. December 1st, absolutely done with your actual ticket. By the time they've divided it up over the 7 payments, your actual festival ticket, if you're going GA anyway, is the cheapest thing that you're paying for each month. So it got to near the time and I contacted my hotel, because at this point I also needed transport from LA to Palm Springs. Now there is an airport in Palm Springs, but it's very, very expensive. A lot of the major airlines don't fly there from London, and if they do, I think it's more of like a private jet kind of small type airport. I don't know, it was expensive, so I didn't even really look into it. It wasn't even an option for me. But LA is around, depending on when you leave, to Palm Springs, it can take like 2.5 hours. I can't remember how long it took us on the way up to Palm Springs, but we got the latest shuttle. So I actually booked my transport from LA to Palm Springs with the Coachella group, so it was $75 one way, so $150 return. Now I don't think that's the cheapest option. I do think that you can get it cheaper. I was actually going to leave it to chance and maybe get an Uber, but the thing with Uber is a lot of the times it will say, oh, you know, $120, $130 or whatever it may be, but then the second you go to book it, they surge, or they don't realise that you're going to Palm Springs, and then when they do, it goes up. So personally, I wouldn't leave it to chance. I wouldn't leave it I wouldn't leave it for an Uber. I did actually contact, itchy nose, sorry. I did actually contact my hotel, Dream, prior to see how much they would charge, and they quoted me like a stupid price, so I just like completely forget about it. I wanted the safety of booking with Value Music Travel, so I was like, do you know what, I've bought the tickets through them, let me just get I've got the shuttle pass which is through them, let me just do the transport. Now, are there other options? I think that there are. I think there are cheaper coaches, like possibly maybe even half the price. I have to say, at this point, I was just like, I was ready to go, I was ready to get to Coachella, so I just parted with the money, and that was that. So with regards to that specific shuttle, there are 3 of them, and they leave from LAX airport, and they take you to 3 different stops in Palm Springs. So you will need to, unless you're lucky enough to be staying at one of the 3 stops that it drops you off in at Palm Springs, you kind of need to see which one works best for you. So for me, I was staying at the Courtyard, Hilton, Frank Sinatra Drive, and the nearest one that it was dropping off at was the JW Marriott, which was a really, really nice hotel by the hotel. Hotel for hoes. Anyway, I don't know how I said it that way. So for me, the nearest one was the JW Marriott, which I think was maybe like a 7-minute drive. And you'll find that there are other people on the bus which are also going to the same hotel. Everyone's super friendly. So yeah, me and my friend actually buddied up with another person who was also staying in our hotel, and we just shared the Uber, which was, I don't know, maybe like $7, if that. That was our transport from LA over to Palm Springs, and then again on the way back there were 3 different buses. One of them left at 6 a.m. I don't know how people made it for that. We went for the 10 a.m. one, which left Palm Springs at 10 a.m. Got us back into LA, I would say probably like around midday. It wasn't nearly as bad on the way back as it was on the way. And also because you're super tired on the way back, you just kind of like conked out anywhere. That was it in terms of transportation going to and from LA to Palm Springs. So I want to talk about spending money now and how much I took. I think I only took about £600, which maybe gave me like around, at the time, maybe like $800 and something. When I was in LA though, I was buying some things on my card. But in terms of the actual festival, I would say you could probably, the drinks and everything were just pretty standard to me. So like, you know, $15 for a drink. A slice of pizza might be like $6 or $7. There's so many different food options. If you don't want to buy, you know, an alcoholic drink for like $15, there are like little lemonade stands and things like that. So food didn't seem over the top, but then I am in London, so I know that London is kind of expensive. So yeah, pretty average. I would say maybe budget minimum like $100 a day. But the thing is, like I am not a massive drinker, so I wasn't like battering the alcoholic drinks. I was getting maybe like 2 or 3 because I really wanted to enjoy it. I didn't want to just be like wasted. It's also quite hot during the day, so you want to be careful. You don't want to like dehydrate. So I wasn't always getting alcoholic drinks. I was also getting lemonade and ice cream and stuff like that, and sweet treat type stuff like oh my god, that Minute Maid strawberry lemonade sorbet ice cream bangs, like it's so nice. And that was only like a $5 or something like that. So yeah, I would say to be on the safe side, minimum give yourself like $100. And then on the last day there was like a random girl who was giving out meal ticket token things, which gave us like I think a $5 or a $10 off of a meal. So yeah, there's, I don't know, it's 100 quid I think will do. As I mentioned, I think I took about £600, and that also was my spending money whilst we were in LA. But I'm like a little bit of a bargain hunter. If you watch my LA vlog, you'll know that, like, if, for instance, even when I went to Catch LA, I went during like on a set menu, so it was really quite cheap. So it's good just to find little bargains in and around LA, so that when you do go to Palm Springs, you've got enough spending money for the festival. On top of that, they also take card, and like most of the vendors took card, so if you're really stuck, you can do that. That is it for the spending money, and I guess that's it for like how I planned it, what I did step by step in terms of in what specific order. So now I'm gonna just check my phone because I put the questions tab up. So in terms of the questions, I think I've covered the majority of them already, but one of them here says, how long did you book before and where did you stay? So I booked mine 10 months before, almost a year before, in the pre-sale, and I didn't camp. I stayed at the Courtyard, Palm Springs, Frank Sinatra Drive when I was in Palm Springs, and Dream Hollywood when I was in LA. Someone asked if it was worth the money. This is such a difficult question to answer, because obviously different strokes for different folks, and people are going to have varying different experiences. For me personally, I'd always wanted to go to Coachella, and I thought to myself, if I don't kind of go this year, it might be a little while before I do go. Now, if I'm going to be completely honest with you, like, I did not have that disposable income to pay for that festival right away, but I just made it work. I maneuvered, I worked really hard, I picked up extra shifts where I can or where I could, and I just paid what I could. I paid it bit by bit to give myself enough time to pay for it. At the time, it did feel like I was biting off more than I can chew, but then it was a thing where it's like, okay, cool, you've booked this now, you better work. So I kind of just like cut my cloth accordingly from that point, and it just meant, you know, maybe spending a little bit less on, you know, clothes and going out and things like that. But my vice is buying clothes. That's my main issue. So I just had to like watch that a little bit. So for me, it was worth the money because it is something that I've always wanted to do. And I remember like a few years back, I bought a really nice orange cover up from H&M, and it was H&M x Coachella, and I was like, oh, what's Coachella? And then like as I got older, I started to see it more on like the Daily Mail and things like that, which I don't read anymore. But anyway, you know, sometimes at work you're bored and you scroll through Daily Mail. Like, don't, it's the devil, literally, just don't do it. Yeah, and I sort of just started to see, and then, you know, for some reason I felt like it was such a thing that would be so far removed, like so far removed from what I could do. Like, I didn't ever think I'd be able to plan something like that. But as I've got older and I've gone on more trips, and I do quite a lot of multi-trips now, and I use Dial-A-Flight, and they're really good, I thought, you know what, yeah, it is possible, it is feasible. Just take your time, make sure you save your air miles and go. If I'm being honest, if I had to pay £800 for my flight as opposed to the 300, we would have run into a few problems. Like, it would have been really squeaky bum time for like long, but that really helped me out. Someone asked if it's like what you see on Instagram, lots of models and famous people, or is that a hype? We met a couple girls out there who were really sweet girls. They were in VIP, and they were just saying, and it's very true, because everybody is in like their nice festival outfits, you don't really recognize any famous people. I don't think I really saw any famous people, but I wasn't really watching or clocking like that. I was just, I mean, obviously the acts were famous, but I'm talking about like in the crowd. But yeah, it's the type of place where everyone is dressed nicely in their little festival outfits, so everybody's taking a nice picture, because it's a, you know, it's a big thing, it's a big festival, and a lot of people have come from very far to get there. So yeah, I mean, for me, what did the question say again? Is it like what you see on Instagram? Yeah, like, I don't know. I personally found that everybody was really nice, everyone was on good vibes, everyone was super polite, super friendly. The staff were literally so friendly, it's insane. Like, it was scary almost, because obviously in London everyone's just a bit like closed off, but everyone was just so friendly, so nice. And yeah, everyone is in their festival best, right? So everyone's taking their pictures, and that's just, I guess, the world that we live in these days. Myself included, like, I was taking some photos and stuff because it's just so nice. And when you get through, it's like the grounds are massive, it's nice and clean, it's just a very well thought out festival. I've only been to Wireless and like a Radio 1 weekender and like a Hackney weekender thing, so that's what I'm comparing it to. And in terms of like comparing it to that, it's like those but on steroids. Like, everything is well thought out. There's water refilling stations, there are phone recharging stations, there is Wi-Fi in like the whole, basically everywhere. There's loads of different places to sit and chill. You know, while you're waiting for different acts, there's so many different food vendors, it's not even a joke. Like, there's so much different like food to choose from, whether you're, you know, there's vegan stuff, there's loads of different dietary different things, you know. So yeah, for me, I guess it was my first time. It did kind of come across as like what you see on Instagram, and then also just like a normal festival as well, if that makes sense. Someone asked if it lived up to the hype. Again, as I said, because it was something that I really wanted to do, I personally had an amazing time. I would love to go again, but you know, if I was to go again, that means I'd have to book literally like right now, and I don't have the money for that, so I'm gonna sit it out next year, sadly. 2 years on the trot, your girl's getting old, I don't know if my back could take it. So yeah, for me it was worth it. So yeah, I guess I'll probably total up like how much I spent now, because that's another thing. It's a little bit difficult because obviously it was like converted from dollars to pounds, a lot of it. So so the ticket was $504 plus 25 shipping. So $529, divide that by 1.3, the exchange rate will say. So let's say the ticket was about £407. So the festival ticket, including the shipping and including the shuttle pass, was £407. My LA accommodation was £829.50. My Palm Springs accommodation was £700. My flight was £300. Shuttle was $150 return, so $150 divided by 1.3, and that's a generous exchange rate. I bet I didn't get that. 115. So in total, it looks as though it was around £2,351.50. As I said, I also bought roughly £600 spending money, so it was £2,951.50. You might as well round it up to about, give or take, 3 grand basically. And that was me doing it, I want to say on the cheap, but there is no real way of doing it on the cheap, because like I said, they know it's Coachella, so everything, the prices go up. If I hadn't have got my flight for $300, that obviously would have been £500 more, so you're looking at around $3,450. So yeah, that's the full price, that's the full breakdown. The thing is though, if you're looking at it, if you're giving yourself 10 months to go, you're dividing 2,951 by 10 months. So you're looking at around £295 on average a month, which sounds like a lot. It does, it sounds like a lot. That is, do you know what, this is the first time I've actually like sat down and calculated how much I spent. But you know, I had a really good time, so it was worth it for me. I guess that kind of wraps up the everything you need to know about Coachella. I really hope I was thorough enough to let you know like pricing and things like that. If there's anything else you want to know, please comment below, let me know. I think in hindsight, or in the future if I was to go again, I will probably spend a little bit less time in LA. I arrived in LA on the Saturday. I think I could probably get away with arriving in LA maybe even like on the Tuesday, because then I would have saved myself Saturday night, Sunday night, Monday night. I would have saved myself 3 nights accommodation. So I think it's cutting it a bit fine in terms of adjusting to the timings and adjusting to the time zones. But I think to save myself some money, I would 100% just shave off a little bit of time in LA. Plus I've done like my LA vlog part 2, there's 1 and 2 parts, it's so long, but I've done quite a few of the sightseeing things. If you've seen that, you'll know that I did. So up with some tips: get yourself the tickets during the pre-sale. 100%, that's definitely going to be the best way that you save money. The tickets are not cheaper then, but you give yourself that layaway option. And I personally, to book my tickets and my flight and my accommodation and everything in January, it only gives you like 2 paychecks, 3 maybe, before the festival. So I think that's cutting it fine. And also, I would feel uncomfortable booking my accommodation, booking my flight without my festival ticket first. So I definitely say jump on it in the pre-sale to give yourself time to pay things off. The next tip, I would say, again, ties in with the first one, is whatever you can put on layaway and pay bit by bit, pay bit by bit. So if you need to introduce a travel agent so that your accommodation and your flight can be paid bit by bit and you just pay your deposit and then you pay it, 100% definitely do that. Because there are some things that you might not be able to do with that option. Like for me, the accommodation in Palm Springs, bang, came out, nearly cried. Anyway, tip number 3, shop around. Even if you do use a travel agent, look around on different websites, look around on TripAdvisor, Google. Google actually does a comparison right there and then. I know some people always say book on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, it's cheaper. I'm an avid bargain hunter, so I guess I can see how that would work. My final tip, and this really helped me out again, is the air miles. If you want to know more about the air miles, I think I spoke about it in a Black Friday video, so I'll link it if I can. But yeah, that for me, as I keep mentioning, saved me £500, which is such a lot of money when you're spending so much. So yeah, you need to get them air miles. And even if you don't get them in time for this, like get them in time for, there's like plenty of other music festivals that go on, you know, around the world. And if you start shopping via the Virgin Atlantic Shops Away website, you can save up so many miles. It's such a rewarding flying scheme. So that would be my 4th and final, maybe my 5th, I don't know, let's say 4th and final tip. Okay, so that completes this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it and you found it helpful. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and comment below to let me know. If you have any comments, let me know if you found it helpful, if you found cheaper alternatives, if you know, little tips and tricks that you found that you think other people might find helpful, please comment them below. I really appreciate you guys watching this video to the end, because I know that it was like a lot of blah, 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 blah. So thank you guys if you watched to the very end. My Coachella vlog, if you haven't watched it, I will really appreciate if you watched it. I will probably pop it on the screen here. I'm going to pop a little subscribe button here, and my Instagram is just raquel.saul, and I'll put it in the middle of the screen here. Thank you guys again for watching. Don't forget that thumbs up, don't forget those comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.